Hello, friends, and welcome back to The Conservative Poet with me, Amanya. Today, friends, we are going to continue the conversation of Charlie Kirk and the assassination, the murder of this young patriot father, husband, patriot son, brother to so many. So many loved him, including the body of the conservative movement. And so, friends, we're going to dive deep today into the culture. And we're talking about what happens when speaking truth gets you assassinated. It gets you Charlie Kirk. That's going to be a new thing. You're going to become Charlie Kirk, and that's going to be assassinated. So we're talking about Charlie Kirk and the hate that he received via not just when he was on college campuses, not just when he was out here debating people, not when he was just out here having conversations, trying to get people to use their own thoughts, minds, and opinions. But he was out here also getting people engaged in the political conversation. That's really what he was doing. And he knew that the place to do that was on the college campuses because that is where the leftist lives, the leftist professors, the leftist teachings. He knew that he had to be on that battleground because that's where it is. So in this day and age, there's a couple of battlegrounds, obviously, here on the social spaces, YouTube, Twitter, X, and all of them, Facebook. These are definitely political battlefields in the social realm. But there's also on the ground, and those are in those college campuses where ideas should be debated, not just you hear one thing and that's what it is and you go along with it, right? It should be debated. If you have a different opinion, okay, we have difference in opinion. Let's talk about it. Let's debate. Healthy debate. And that, friends, is what has been missing in this climate. And so we're going to talk about it a little bit further. Charlie Kirk was not liked by a lot of people. And I get that. No conservative is liked by people on the left. And I, as a conservative woman, I get the same kind of pushback that Charlie does because honestly, we are truth speakers. We speak the truth. And sometimes the other side, they don't like to hear the truth. And so they push back and they argue with you. And if they can't win the argument, then, friend, they simply eliminate you via Charlie Kirk being assassinated. So Charlie has talked a lot about specifically the Black community, and he's talked about why Black people are in the dire restraints that they're in. He talked about fatherlessness in the home, and we all know this. Black people, 75% of the homes do not have a male. So a lot of these young boys are out here doing all kinds of craziness, and the cycle just continues. Again, year after year, decade after decade, women are having children without men in the home, right? And so it becomes a cycle. Children are raising children. Women are raising the children. Women are raising the men. Women don't know nothing about men. And so it just becomes this perpetual thing. And so it causes crime, poverty, and more pregnancies, and so on. And so Charlie Kirk talked about that. This is one of the big problems in the Black community. Now, let's be honest, it could be a problem in any community, right? But it is a big problem in the Black community. And I, as a Black woman, know this, and I discuss it as well as you guys know here on the channel. So another thing Charlie Kirk talks about is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And he talks about it, that it's not fair to some groups. And therefore, if we should have a well-leveled playing field for everyone. I can do something, you can do it, we all can do it. You shouldn't have to get a footstep up to do the same thing, right? It's not fair to other people. And so these are the debates. And so he did not agree with things like affirmative action. He did not agree with things like diversity, equity, inclusion, and neither do I. And so, again, we get a lot of pushback. So today we are going to talk about the Black community and their reaction to Charlie Kirk's death. Now, not all of the Black community feels this way, but it appears that there's a majority of people, Black people, that feels like, you know what? He got what he deserved. He talked and he was silenced and he deserved it. So we're going to dive into this hate, and we're going to bring the word along with us. We're going to throw in some scriptures, and we're going to react to some of these leftist Black TikTokers and Black X content creators or opinionators or commentators, however they're calling themselves. So we're going to get into that right now. So we are going to start with a couple of Charlie Kirk doing the work. And then we're going to go into the leftists. And those leftists are, again, Black folks, male and female. We're going to go into their reactions and their hatred and their vitriol towards Charlie Kirk. But first, here is why they hate Charlie Kirk so much.
Black Americans are poorer today in 2024 than they were in the 1950s.
Yes. Why do you think that is?
Good question. So we have the Civil Rights Act, we have more benefits, more government programs. Something changed between the 1950s and 2024. So there's two answers to this question. Either America got more racist since 1950s to 2024. So like that 70-year period, because Black Americans are worse off today per capita.
Yeah,
than
I would
they
agree
were.
with this.
You agree with that? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Than in the 1950s. Or there's another explanation. And I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, which is I think you would acknowledge that the disappearance of the Black father has been the #1 driver of Black poverty in this country. Now, there are reasons for that we could.
What do you think the reasons for that are?
Well, culture is one. Would you agree?
So actually, let's go back to the foundations
of that school to prison
culture.
pipeline, all that stuff. But can we at least agree that Black dads not being around is a bad thing?
Anyone's father not being around is a bad
No,
thing.
of course,
not
but 75% of Black youth are not raised with a father in the home. It's the highest of any group in the country. It used to be 25% in the 1950s, so it's gone up dramatically in 70 years.
So Charlie's point, very, very accurate. And the young lady is right. Any group of people that don't have a father in the home, if you look at these groups, you will see that the family is in decay, right? Those people are more in poverty. They lack morals because, again, the father is the head of the family. He's the guide. He is the one guiding the family and nurturing the family in these ways. He's the one guiding the ship, right? So if you don't have a captain guiding the ship and the mother has a different role, then there's a lack somewhere. So yes, the children are going to be lacking in certain things, and the woman is going to be lacking in certain things. And so therefore, the family is going to be broken. And so that's what's happened in the Black community. And it started with, the government coming in and saying to the women, hey, women, we've got these programs here and, we'd love to help you out. But guess what? You can't have your man in the house. You can't have a husband in the house. You can't have these things. He's going to have to go. And so that is when the devastating marriage happened with Black women and the government. And we are looking at the results of these things in this moment. I mean, every household, just about every household you see, it's It's baby mama drama. It's baby mama drama. It's baby mama drama. And that's what it is. It's women raising the children. The dads aren't around, and the kids have no structure, they have no role models, and so forth. They are broken, and they look to the streets, right? They look to the streets for guidance, and they find that in the gangs, right? They find that in crime. They find that in, wherever they can, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for identity. And the father is supposed to give them that identity, and they do not have it. And mama can't give it to them. And right now, I myself, I am a single mother. I was a single mother, or my son is grown now. He's 23 years old. So, and he's doing well in life. He's in the Navy. Matter of fact, he surprised us just this week. He came home for leave, and he's doing very well. And, I'm grateful to God that, I was able to pull this thing off on my own. And a lot of single mothers have been able to pull it off. But, there's still damage along the way. There's still, bad things along the way. And my son, he suffered things that he shouldn't have. He didn't have a dad to do certain things with. He didn't have a dad in the house to go play, baseball with in the mornings, or go shoot the ball, or, things like that, what dads do, or go fishing with it. He didn't have his father in his life in that way. His father was around, but not having him in the household, was definitely hard on Isaiah. And so, like a lot of young men, but my son is doing well. He's thriving. He's in the service, and he's doing okay. But a lot of the young men fell through the cracks, friends. They fell through the cracks, and a lot of them ended up on the streets and in the corner and in jail. And again, Charlie just mentioned it, from the pipeline to prison. That's a real thing. And so these are the kinds of things that has broken the Black family, not having a father in the home, right? So we're going to move on to the next one, where Charlie talks again about certain things, and then we're going to get into the leftists. Okay, here's the next Charlie Kirk.
So inheritance and inherited wealth is something that, the great grandfather, whatever, is passed down. Homeboy who is here today did nothing to deserve that multi-billion-dollar business, but he gets it because of his bloodline, correct? Is that how it,
yeah,
that's how inheritance works, right?
Yeah, no, like Bronny James is going to get $1 billion.
Right, yeah, yeah, sorry. Great example. So what I'm saying is that, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, I believe that reparations in and of itself, one, I don't think that the argument is formed right, and two, I believe that it's kind of a reverse inheritance, if that makes sense, where it's like where it's like, yes, Black people's, like me personally, yes, I did not have to suffer through Jim Crow, slavery, or whatever, but all those choices that were made in those times have gotten necessarily me to where I'm at now.
Got it. So let me tell you where we have a difference of opinion.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay? Absolutely. So we as conservatives tend to underemphasize this idea of many legacies of suffering. Mm-hmm. Whereas people on the left, not saying you're on the left, but the other perspective.
Definitely not.
No, for sure. But that's fine. No, that's fine. Let's just say the other side of the argument tend to emphasize that you are stuck because of something that happened to you many generations prior. Absolutely. We believe, absent very unique circumstances in the United States of America, that is almost never true. For example, we think every individual should be judged by their own actions, their own character, and their agency. Now, let's play this out, though. You're acting as if, not you, but let's say the argument, because you're coming after this in a great way, there's been no money sent Black America the last 60 years. We have spent over $25 trillion on Black America in 60 years, and Black America's poorer than before we started. We're talking about Medicaid, food stamps, we're talking about schools, public housing. The issue is not the amount of money. The issue has instead been a couple things. Number one, it's been the downfall of the Black family. And unfortunately,
yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, the more money we've spent on this, we've seen the downfall of the Black family. Just some numbers super quick. Is that in 1964, right before the passage of the Civil Rights Act, 75% of Black youth had a dad around. Now it's 25%.
So, yes. So Charlie Kirk went into that, and the young man was talking basically that, you know, we deserve reparations because of everything that our ancestors went through, and therefore, you know, we deserve these kinds of things. But when you think about it, Charlie just said just about $25 trillion has been poured into the Black community, and the Black community is worse off than it's ever been. So that has to say something. So all of these programs, all of these nonprofits, all of these after-school programs, all of these food programs, all of these agencies, all of these, you know, program after program after program after program. It's like housing, Section 8, temporary housing assistance, welfare, like food stamps, so like all of these, Medicaid, healthcare, SSI, like all of these different things that's, you know, being put in the hand of the Black person. I'd say that's reparations. Tell me in the comments, do you think that's reparations? Because I think that's reparations. $25 trillion from like the 1960s, 70 years to now, that's a lot of money. And it's been wasted. So that's Charlie Kirk and his points. And now we're going to take it to the leftists and how they are reacting to his death because of these beliefs right here. His beliefs is people should take responsibility. Black people should take responsibility for themselves. They should not count on the government to fix everything for them. They should take responsibility for themselves. The Black man, the Black male, the Black father, the Black leader should take control and lead the Black family, lead the Black community. But more often than not, the Black community leaders, Al Sharptons, who else? Jesse Jackson, you know, those kinds of people in these leadership roles, they're literally creating policies, or they advocate for these policies that really is detrimental to the Black people. And of course, the Black politicians. When we look at these liberal cities are literally run by Blacks, and a lot of them, of course, Democrats. So sometimes that Democrat is a white, but a lot of times those Democrats are Blacks. Let's take, for example, Brandon Johnson in Chicago. Look at the mess that Chicago is in. Shootings every weekend. I mean, just like for Labor Day weekend, I didn't even cover it. About 50 something or so people got shot. Black on Black crime. Yeah, there was no white man involved in that. That was Black on Black crime. Massacre. That's what happens in these communities. Again, Black leaders, again, not putting responsibility on these people out here who's causing it. Oh, we just need more programs. Oh, we don't need more police. We need more programs. And that is where Brandon Johnson lives. We don't need more police. We need more programs. And so, friends, that's what they advocate for. But if you're having 50 people shot in one weekend, friend, I think you need more police. Just saying. So now we're for our first leftist. Let's add her to the stage. This one is quite interesting. You ready? TikTok leftist. Let's go.
Someone dying because it's still a life loss. Is it though? Is Charlie Kirk a life loss, or did the devil just call home one of his disciples? I mean, they celebrated when they killed Martin Luther King and he was preaching peace. I think it's okay for people to be rejoicing in a white supremacist dying. I think that's all right. Mind you, he died doing what he loved, protecting gun rights. He said so famously that he believes that deaths are just sacrifices made to keep your Second Amendment, and he is indeed one of those sacrifices. And I'm going to be honest, better him than another innocent child just going to school, or an innocent person going to the grocery store, or an innocent person going to church, or an innocent person just being on the subway, or an innocent person literally anywhere dying from gun violence. That man spent the last few years of his life peddling racism, white supremacy, xenophobia, sexism, and all things detrimental to a productive society. He was the embodiment of bigotry, and him dying in this way was very poetic. And I don't feel bad. You shouldn't celebrate someone.
Leftist is absolutely right that Charlie Kirk did die while he was doing what he loved. He was out there advocating for truth, talking about violence, not necessarily about gun violence, but violence as a whole. When we just talked about Chicago and all of those shootings. And people tend to forget that it's people behind the weapon. It's people pulling the trigger. It's the people that's out here killing people. And if the bad guys have guns, then guess what? The good guys should have guns too. Because if the bad guys have guns and the good guys don't have guns, then the bad guys is going to kill everybody. And who's going to stop the bad guy if you don't have a weapon to fight back with? So that's why we believe in our Second Amendment rights, that we have a right to protect ourselves. We have a right to protect our property. We have a right to protect our families. We have a right to protect our businesses. We have a right to keep and bear arms. Right? We have a right to that. And if memory serves correctly, part of this Second Amendment was to help Black people as well, so that they could protect themselves from people like the KKK, right? Who, by the way, are Democrats, right? But nobody wants to talk about that. The Second Amendment is here to protect everyone. And so, yes, friend, Charlie Kirk dying on that campus, speaking about these things. He was shot to death, speaking about what he believed in, trying to wake up the masses, trying to wake up the sheep, trying to wake us up out of our sleep. And I'm sure Charlie knew that every time he walked onto a campus, that there could be a possibility, that he could get hurt. But sometimes, friend, when you know what you know, you take that chance anyway. You do it anyway. And so, yes, dear, he died doing what he loved. By the way, hideous glasses. Hideous. All right. Next up.
Now, Charlie Kirk is gone, but some people refuse to mourn him. A lot of Black people and a lot of women refuse to mourn him, myself included. Let's talk about why. He once said, if I see a Black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Moving on.
So I'm going to just stop him right there. Yeah, you want to know if they're qualified, especially in the DEI era, where there was a lot of talk that people were being hired, people were being put on, and they didn't qualify, they didn't do the test, or they dumbed down the test so Black people could get a shot at these jobs, and they don't know how to fly airplanes, or they don't know how to do certain things, and then crash you go. Yeah, I want to know if they're really qualified. And I get it that, okay, well, you're not asking if the white man is qualified. You're not asking if the Asian man is qualified. You're not asking these things. Well, they don't lower the bar for the whites, and they don't lower the bar for the Asians, but they do lower the bar for blacks. And if I'm going to be in an airplane, I need to know that you have the credentials, you have the experience, you have the training to be able to lift us up, fly us where we're going, and land that sucker. I needs to know that.
Moving on to quote number 2. He called George Floyd a scumbag. So all that he's a father, he's a husband, that is out the window because George Floyd was a father too.
All right, we're going to have to stop and address that as well. George Floyd, who was a criminal, who was, I don't know if he killed anybody, but I remember he had a woman, a pregnant woman, he held her at gunpoint. Yeah, he did that. He was a crackhead addict, all that. A criminal, a menace to society. He was a menace to society. And I'm sure he was a father because, of course, they're going to drop their seed wherever they are. Charlie Kirk was a family man, a husband. Not to say that if you're not a husband, your life don't matter, but George Floyd, friend, come on, in and out of jail, in and out of prison. That was scum. Yeah, I said it. George Floyd was scum. I said it.
That the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a huge mistake, and that's the very law protecting black people and women from discrimination. When it comes to women, he repeatedly fought against their rights, dismissing feminism, saying they shouldn't have equal pay, even saying they shouldn't have abortion access.
Listen, friend, if your mama had aborted you, would you still be here spewing this nonsense right here? No, you didn't want her to have an abortion on you, right? You alive today. You alive today. So you can spew nonsense. But you would deny other black children the same right. 50% of the deaths, friend, happens in the black womb. 50% of the black death happens in the woman's womb. Aren't you glad your mama didn't kill you? Aren't you glad she didn't unalive you? Abortion access.
He even said Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was awful, discrediting someone who fought for equality, who both black men and women benefited from today. That's tough. Now, he said all these things and y'all act like y'all surprised that nobody wants to mourn him. He made himself a villain. Whoever cries when a villain dies? Rest in peace, though.
Wow. Wow. So he is saying that Charlie Kirk was a villain. Have you ever met a villain who talks about Jesus Christ? Almost every other sentence is about God, is about Father, is about Jesus, is about love, and these kinds of things, common sense. I don't know no villain that talks about love and family and country and goodness and righteousness. These are the things that Charlie Kirk talked about. How could he be a villain if he's talking about righteousness? He's standing up for what the Bible says. The Bible says, thou shalt not kill. So you just said it. He's standing up for killing babies in the womb. Thou shalt not kill. He's saying, no, you shouldn't kill. You shouldn't kill babies. You shouldn't kill them in the womb. That's devil talk. Or is that righteous talk? He's saying, Father created man and woman. Therefore, a man can't be a woman and a woman can't be a man. Common sense. That's biblical. In the beginning, God created man. In the beginning, God created woman. He didn't create Harry and Sally, but he created Adam and Eve. Man and woman. A hole in a bat. That's what he created. And what else he talks about? Biological men becoming women, all this stuff, right? These are righteous things that Charlie Kirk talked about. So he wasn't working for the devil, friends. I think he was working for the man upstairs, the creator himself. All right, let's take it to another leftist. And this one, he has been, I watched their channel. They have a big channel, the African Diaspora. And I watch them sometimes. And sometimes he's on point with it. And sometimes, man, he is a leftist as they come.
Were gang violence. Now, why was he mentioning gang violence? A person was questioning him about mass, and the person was asking about, well, how many of these people have been, transgender, and so he responded about, well, other as well, including, I think he said something about gang violence. So he was trying to include gang violence in it. And anytime Charlie Kirk talks about gang violence, he's not talking about Hispanic gangs, Asian gangs, white gangs. He's always talking about us. So the moment he said gang violence, that's when he was sniped. And so his final two words that he spoke was gang violence. The final words. All this time, this man has been speaking about us and lying on us and propagandizing us, worrying about us. And he never spent his life worrying about his own community. I would tell you folks, because I know you're listening, you're here. I know you're here tonight. You got a problem. Now, you're going to try to say, oh, it's because the liberals are hateful, and the liberals are this and the liberals are that. Because this is what the liberals do. Look what they did to Trump. They tried to do it to him twice. Look what they did to Trump. It's just the liberals. Y'all always play this liberal thing and conservative thing. Listen, it don't matter if you're liberal. It don't matter if you're conservative. Y'all love that. Y'all got a problem in your community. You have a lot of anger in your community. It's a lot of anger. A lot of anger. Oh, my God. The crash out videos that I saw today. And this one video, this one lady was crashing out. I said, man, is she acting or what? They are crashing out, y'all. They crashing out about the Charlie Kirk thing. They really crashing out. Listen, it's white on white violence. Y'all, we got to talk about this tonight. Y'all need to leave black people alone. See, the problem is you worry so much about black folk, you're not worried about your own community. Your community got a problem, and we're not your problem. Listen, we're not in Utah. We don't have nothing to do with Utah. Listen, black folks wouldn't hurt a hair on Charlie Kirk's head. The worst that black folks would do to Charlie Kirk if they saw him, if they even knew who he was. A lot of black folks don't even know who he is, right? He's not like he's Trump or something. If they knew him, they probably say something slick to him. Maybe he get cussed out at the airport or something. Maybe. But black folks wouldn't be bothering with him because black folks look at him as just game goofy. That's it.
So where do I go with this gentleman? So he says they're always picking on us. They don't talk about other communities. I actually highly doubt that. But I do get that there's a major focus on the Black community because even though the Black population is like 13% of the whole population, just like over half of the crime is committed by this population. We're a small group, but yet we create the most crime. Like that stands out. People can see into that. So this is one of the reasons. And when you look at, the stories that come out of these liberal cities like Chicago, like all of these different parts of the country where the shootings are happening, St. Louis, where the shootings are Oakland, where the shootings are happening, Los Angeles, where all of these violent crimes and things is happening, just where President Trump in DC, the National Guard and all of that. It's because of crime, and they're in these Black communities. That's where it is. So you have to address it. I mean, that's what it is. So anyway, I see he's real passionate about it, and therefore, and I get it. He's, more of a Black power kind of guy, kind of channel, and I get that, like Black supremacy. And so anytime they just don't let the Black man take the responsibility of what they do, like the killing of our own people, the killing of our own babies, the robbing of each other, destroying the family, all of these things. They don't want Black people to take responsibility. And so with people like him out here always advocating and trying to make it good so Black people don't take responsibility. So this is where he lives. So we're going to move on from him, and we're going to bring on another leftist.
I saw a lot of Black men that I went to high school with trying to mourn and grieve the death of Charlie Kirk and saying, like, if you're over here celebrating his death, or if you don't care about his death, you can go ahead and block me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's read some quotes straight out of Charlie's fucking mouth. We're gonna start off with quote number 1 that you probably have already heard, but I think it's very important to say. He said, "I think it's worth to have the cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year in order to protect our Second Amendment right." Yeah, and that's what happened. Now let's go to the racist shit. He said when blacks, and yes, he's talking about your black ass too, sir. When blacks in America did not have the same rights that they have today, they were less murderous and there were less break-ins. Why is that? Why is that? He also said, "I'm sorry, but if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, is he even qualified?" But wait, there's more. This is how he feels about Juneteenth. "A certain skin color gets their own summertime celebration. Like, oh wow, look how far the blacks have come. It has now became a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder." This next quote is him literally talking face to face to a 10-year-old little black boy. "The Civil Rights Act was a mistake." Yeah, he said that. To a child. A black child. But let's keep going. "Blacks were better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes." And lastly, this is my favorite quote by him. "Empathy is a made-up, new age term that does a lot of damage." Yeah. I don't know why you guys want to empathize with this man who hated your guts so fucking badly, but it's blowing my mind, especially when you guys are dead quiet on all the shit that is going on around the world, from genocide to fucking the man in office and people getting literally split up from their families. Y'all are dead silent, but you guys want us to grieve over this fucking racist ass fucking man. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And no matter how close you guys try to be to whiteness, you will never be that. He viewed you as the blacks. He viewed you as the blacks. No matter how you put it, he viewed you as the blacks. Trying to make us feel bad for not empathizing or feeling sorry for this god-awful evil man is blowing my mind. It's literally blowing my fucking mind. I see more people talking about the death of this god-awful man than people talking about the fucking high school kids who were fucking in a school shooting at the same fucking time. Like, I'm over it. I'm literally over it. Priorities are all the way fucked up. He was a god-awful man who didn't empathize with anyone else, so why should we empathize with him?
Woo! There goes the leftist. There goes the leftist. There goes the leftist. She said a whole lot there, but let's see what I can pick up and run with here. She quoted a couple of things that Charlie Kirk said, but it's funny how she doesn't go deep into, why he said it or the reasons why. I'm not going to go into all of that here, but I would have wished that she would have done that, obviously. But once again, these are people who are literally psychotics when it comes to, again, not letting blacks have the responsibility for their own actions and what they do. And again, killing each other and all of these things is part of that. And so again, Charlie was not a perfect, but he was out here in these streets trying to have conversations, trying to converse with anyone. He says, tell me why your ideas are this, and I'll tell you why my ideas are that. Not because of race or not because of anything else, but let's put our minds together. Let's put our minds together. Let's have a conversation. Let's debate these issues. Where you are, where I am, and let's find some common ground. Let's find some common ground in this whole thing. Let's have conversations. Again, shocking on a campus, on college campuses where ideas are made, right? And that's what they don't want. Charlie Kirk was a God-fearing man, right? A God-fearing man, righteous man. And he preached the word of the Bible. He preached about his faith. That's what he talked about. He lived his faith as our Father in heaven wants us to. He got up every day. He had the family. He had the wife. He got up and he went into the streets of the society to talk about these things, the things that he saw that was wrong, like, for instance, transgenderism, for instance, homosexuality. What is a woman? And he did it respectfully. Now, the leftists if you push back on anything that they bring, then you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're a xenophobe. And you're hateful, of course. Because you want to debate these things. I don't think a man could be a woman. Then you must be a bigot then. Then you must be a homophobe then. I don't think men should be competing against women. Huh? You must be against transgenders then. You must be against you are against men going into women's bathrooms. You're a bigot and a hateful one. You know, I don't think you should. I think the Bible says thou should not kill. Maybe you shouldn't kill your babies. Huh? Oh, my body, my choice. My body, my choice. I can do whatever I want with my body. My body, my choice. So Charlie Kirk preached righteousness, sister. And what happened to him was not deserved, but God had plans, and Charlie Kirk's voice is going to be bigger than ever before. That is what a martyr is. His voice is going to live on forever. Forever. Because of his faith, because of his beliefs, and because of how he lived his life. And he died living his life, living the truth, living and doing what God put him to do, put him here to do. So yes, long after we're gone, Charlie Kirk's name will live on. Give me the next leftist. Give me the next leftist.
Right after being born black, I'm so glad I wasn't born a fucking coon.
Hold on.
Or raised.
What is these things? She had some too. What is it? All of them appear. They have these nose things, these rings. They have these things. What's wrong with these people? What is this for? What I didn't talk about the other girl, but she had the same thing. Another one, a whole bunch of them. No wonder these people are insane. And they've lost some blood from the needle in their face. Let's play her, please.
To be a coon. A coon. That's what some of you niggas is. Fucking coons. And I'm talking Samuel L. Jackson and Django. I'm talking Uncle Ruckus off the Boondocks. Y'all are simply fucking coons. I don't want to argue. There's not even nothing you can say. You're a fucking coon. You sitting up here trying to take up for Charlie Kirk, when this same man was calling a black man that was unlawfully had his life taken. Lord. He said that man deserved it. He said that man was a drug addict.
George Floyd, she told him George Floyd. She told him George Floyd. The man's life was taken, what she said, unlawfully?
Said a bunch of shit that lacked empathy or sympathy. Furthermore, again, he simply thought that he was not the price to be paid for the cause of the fucking Second Amendment, bitch. And you know what the world did? You know what the universe did? It said, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something, motherfucker. But yes, the world is okay. It will still keep spinning and going. And again, if you black taking up for Charlie Kirk, you a fucking coon. Alrighty.
I guess I'll be a coon then. I guess I'll be a coon then. I'll be a coon. Because I'm taking up for Charlie Kirk. I guess I'm a coon then. I mean, these people are so illiterate. They are so illiterate. This girl. And she's not an ugly girl either. She has nice features, but look at her. Her eyebrows is a different color. She's got these things in her face. Like, I don't want to attack her, but when you come out here and this is what you're, it's hard not to. So she calls everybody a coon. Coon this, effing coon this, effing coon that, effing coon, coon, coon. You're a coon, 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 coon. Charlie Kirk died. He died. And his name will live forever because of how he died and why he died. He died because they wanted to silence him. It's like these people don't understand that. It's like they don't get it. Charlie Kirk was fighting for free speech on college campuses. He was going out there talking to people so that we have the ability to go and speak our minds wherever we go. And he wanted to debate ideas, but mostly he was fighting for freedom. Freedom for everyone. The freedom for everyone, for the freedom for you to come out here on TikTok and YouTube or wherever and call people coons. Charlie Kirk fought for you to be able to do that. You have the right to come out here and call everybody a coon. That's your freedom of speech. It's not very proper. It's not very, ladylike. It's not very sophisticated, but you have the right to come out here and say it. And that's what Charlie Kirk died for. And you just are too ignorant to know that. We're narrowing it down. We've got about 2 more, and then we're going to call it quits, friends, because this thing could go on forever. There's a whole lot of leftists out here doing this. Let's go. The next one.
I'm not going to say too much about Charlie Kirk because I know a lot of y'all is in y'all feelings and y'all saying like he still got a wife and he still got a family. Understandable. But y'all cannot expect black and brown people to feel some type of way or to have any remorse or to have any empathy or sympathy. Stop expecting that. Don't nobody care about what nobody got, because when it's us.
So why shouldn't you expect, are black people not human beings with flesh and bones and who with a heart to care when somebody is shot up in the neck and blood gushes out of their neck? How do you not have empathy? Black people they can't have empathy for somebody, for something like that when that happens to another human being. So what are black people? Are they animals that they're not able to have that connection for another human being that bleeds just like them? So are black people not supposed to feel for other people because they're white, because they say things that you don't align with politically? Is that the case? No. We black people feel too, and we have empathy too, and we have understanding too.
Don't nobody give a damn. They don't give a damn, okay? I'm not saying nothing about the situation because I ain't got time to be arguing with y'all ass back and forth in the comments, but I'm just speaking for my people. Stop trying to tell our people how to feel and the stuff that they should have sympathy and empathy for. It don't work like that. That shit got to be mutual. In order to have empathy or sympathy for someone, that shit has to be given. Stop expecting our people to see the other side. I feel like hear their opinion and keep it moving. It is what it is. Like, I understand all of I understand it, y'all, but that shit don't matter. I'ma just keep it 100. Just like Dita Don said, like, they been killing our daddies. They been taking our daddies away from our families. Y'all think anybody gave a fuck? No, they didn't. So don't expect our people to care. That's all I'm saying.
So one thing I want to address here with this young lady, not the fact that she's got the whatever that is and all this extra. Again, I don't know. It's like maybe there's something in the iron that goes into their brain to make them cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm just saying. So she said that they have been killing our daddies all this time, and so therefore, why should we care that Charlie Kirk children are going to be raised without their daddy? So let's just address this right now, because the daddies of the black kids have probably more than likely been killed by the hands of other black daddies. And they're shooting each other and they're killing each other. And they're leaving you, the mamas, without a baby daddy to help. Right? The majority of the black daddies that's been taken away has been taken away by the hand, right, of other blacks. Not necessarily the white man. And if she's talking about history, the lynchings, well, those were done by white liberal Democrats, the KKK. They were not Republican conservatives. They were Democrat KKK. So when you say that, the white liberal is your friend. The white liberal is like your God, right? Like the Joe Bidens of the world. Like, the white liberals, who are they? The Bill Gates of the world. You know, all of those people, they're your God. And so therefore, you worship them. And therefore, they've always been the one causing harm and detriment to the black family. Again, removing the fathers out of the home. Boys raising each other, boys raising themselves in the streets, which perpetuate the killing of men killing men. And that, my friend, is how the daddies have really been removed out of the black family. Okay? Bring on the next leftist. Here she goes.
Being mad at black people for not caring that Charlie Kirk died is absolutely outrageous. Would y'all expect a Jewish person to care if a Nazi died? No. So why would y'all expect us to care if a Republican died? Especially a Republican that's a Trump supporter that vocally expresses hatred and dislike for black people.
So what she calls hatred for black people is stating that black people have a problem in the black community. The majority of it is violence and crime that's out of control. Again, the small population, 13% of the population are blacks, and the most crime is committed by blacks. Like, you're 13% of the population. That's like a small percentage. How could you do the most crime? But again, Charlie Kirk called this out. And of course, that's hatred and bigotry. That's hatred and bigotry. If you call that out and you say that out loud. But every weekend, people are dying left, right, and center, shot left, right, and center, all over this country in these liberal areas. By who? By the hands of blacks. And that's what they don't want to hear. And Charlie Kirk says, again, black womb, 50% of the black deaths, abortion. He's against that. And then he's against men and women's sports. Again, where women athletes have really done well for themselves in this country, black women athletes. And now men are taking over those spaces. And they're essentially pushing out the black woman. Because that space could have been for the black woman, but a male is now taking it. Again, all of these things that Charlie Kirk speaks on. But they say it's bigotry and hate.
Can we please use our thinking caps? And quick question, did the Republicans care about Martin Luther King's, Malcolm X, and Fred Hampton's family when they killed him, assassinated them? No, they didn't. So why would I care about his family and friends? You get what I'm saying? And please don't get in my comments saying just because white people do it to us, they don't care when they kill us, that we supposed to care when they get killed. Fuck that. Like, why y'all always telling us to be the better person, or turn the other cheek, or don't stoop down to their level, or don't fight violence with violence? Not doing that is the exact reason why we're still in the predicament we are today.
We're in the predicament that we are today, friend, because we have lost our way, because we no longer put morality and righteousness first. This is the reason. We no longer put the word first. We no longer put faith first. We no longer put basic decency first. And so we're wrestling against these demonic spirits, where these demonic spirits tell you, yes, it's okay for a man to be with a man. That's cool. That's my body, my choice. It's cool to kill your baby. It's my body, my choice. These are the things that they say. We've lost morality. We've lost righteousness. We've lost these basic things, basic of knowing what a woman is. These basic things, we've lost them. And Charlie Kirk is saying, hey, remember these things? Remember, 2 genders. Remember, you're better than killings. Thou shalt not kill. You're better than that. But if you try to tell them that, this is what they tell you.
Documented immigrants getting eaten up by alligators. Yes, he deserves to die, and I hope he burns in hell. And I really don't want to hear any morals.
And she says, he deserves to die. I hope he burns in hell. Which would have to say that you, my dear, do believe that there is a heaven and that there is a hell. So that means you believe that there is a God and that there is a demon, right? Well, friend, I hate to bust your bubble, but I don't think Charlie Kirk is going to be burning in hell. I don't think so.
Superiority from the people who were just laughing. Yes, he deserves to die, and I hope he burns in hell. And I really don't want to hear any moral superiority from the people who were just laughing about undocumented immigrants getting eaten up by alligators. Okay. That motherfucker had to go.
Woo-wee! Let's address it first. Again, what is up with these people in these glasses? And of course, the nose piercings. Again, something is happening with their face wear. These piercings and these glasses, because I feel like there's something there that's really doing something to their brain. This woman says that, I'm glad he's dead. I hope he's burning in hell. Do you know what hell is, my dear? It is the lake of fire, boiling liquid fire. And hell, my friend, is real. And the Bible tells us all about it, how hell is real. And for all of you leftists, and for all of you people, one day we will all be judged by the Creator for our actions and every word that's come out of our mouth. So for what she just said there, she hopes that Charlie Kirk's burn in hell. She's happy that he's dead and she hopes he burns in hell. My dear, that is written in the book of life. And that lake of fire, if you don't fix these things, these hatred that you have in your heart, I got a feeling there's a spot for you in that lake of fire. So as we move to the next segment of the show, I just want to remind you once again that you can support the work that I do here on The Conservative Poet by going to theorlandopatriot.com, where you can get 30% off of your purchase. Let me just put that up there, orlandopatriot.com, 30% off. We have t-shirts, mugs, different cups, and a whole lot of different things, candles, patriotic candles. So go there, support the channel, and I really, really, really do appreciate your support, and I say thank you. And also, if you don't know, I do have an ebook out, and it's called Understanding Wokeness, and it's a guide to understanding woke words. So words like cisgender and people of color and BIPOC and all of these leftist words that that's out here in the society. So yes, Understanding Wokeness, where I do commentary on the words. I tell you what the left means, and I tell you what common sense says, and I give you my commentary and with a common sense twist to it. So pick that up at understandingwokeness.com. So moving on to our next part of the show, we're going to take it to the book, and then we're going to do our poetry. So first, we're going to look at some of the scriptures that tie in this conversation. So what we do here as conservatives is we speak the truth. That's what we do. We are speaking the truth, and they don't like that. And Charlie Kirk was assassinated for simply laying out facts and truths. And they don't like it because, again, nobody wants to take responsibility. They don't like being uncomfortable, right? They don't like hearing the truth because the truth makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel squirmy. It makes you feel, and people don't like it. It's uncomfortable. And so Charlie Kirk made a whole lot of people uncomfortable with the truth. And I hear on The Conservative Poet, we do that because we're truth tellers. It's what we do. It's why we're here. So here's what the book had to say. Our biblical alignment comes from John 8:32. And it says, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Know the truth, because that is what sets you free. So if you're being lied to, therefore there's no clarity. You don't exactly know what it is because it's confusion. The truth is crystal clear. You know it in your gut. You know it in your head. You know it in your mind. You know it in your heart. And there's something called the Holy Spirit that comes upon you, and you know it in your bones. The truth is the truth is the truth is the truth. Because it makes, when we think about these people, when we'll take it back to the transgender stuff, because Charlie, that's, these are the conversations he was having when he was shot to death. Let's talk about that. A man says he can be a woman. Deep in their heart, they know they're not a woman. They know that they're a man with a penis between their legs. They know that they're a man who has to stand over the toilet and pee. They know that they're a man who has to side sweep their penis to pretend to put on women's clothing. They know that they're a man because they have these facial hairs. And I know some women have facial hairs, I do know that. But they do. We know that you're a man because you're a man because you're a man. And we know that you're a woman because you're a woman. You have a vagina, you have breasts. You can flatten it out with clothing if you want to. You can strap on a dildo and call yourself a man if you want to. But deep in your heart, you know you're a woman, because guess what? Your body is going to produce just like it's a woman. Because there's things that happens to women and there's things that happens to men. So in deep down, you know what the truth is. You just don't want to admit it. And so when the society say the truth out loud to your face, you get your feelings hurt because they're not lying to you, right? Charlie Kirk is not lying to you. He's telling the truth, but it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes your skin crawl because it's the truth. And deep down in your gut, you know it is the truth. But you want to pretend and play dress up. That's what you want to do. That's what you're doing. You're playing dress up. And then you want to say, the dress up is real. No, friend, it's not. And what did the word say, John say? Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So if you do have gender dysphoria, okay, it's a mental disorder. It's a mental illness. If you're a boy and you think you're a girl, it's a mental illness. So now that you know the truth will set you free. So you accept that you're a girl, or if you're a boy, and you start to work on the mind. Why is your mind telling you something that's not physically true? And so we start to work on that, to reprogram it, to change it and say, yeah, you're a boy, Larry. You're a boy, Larry. Larry has a penis. Larry is a boy. Or you're a girl, Joanne. You're a girl, Joanne. Joanne has breasts. Joanne has vagina. XX chromosome. That makes you female, Joanne. That's what you are. And this is your role, and this is your role. The truth will set you free. All you need is truth tellers to tell it to you, just like Charlie Kirk did. And our next verse comes from Isaiah 5:20. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. So again, they tell you, the sky is purple. And you say, no, the sky is blue. They say, no, it's purple. And you say, no, it's blue. And then eventually you start to say, I think the sky is purple. I think the sky is purple. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Right? Charlie Kirk telling you, thou shalt not kill. Killing is bad. Homosexuality is bad. Or killing is bad, evil. Homosexuality is evil. Transgenderism is evil. Murdering yourselves and your family and the community, and these things are evil. And they say, now all of these things that Charlie Kirk is saying, they're saying these are evil. They're saying it's okay to kill. It's okay to abort babies. It's okay for a man to say he's a woman. It's okay for you to do these things. Again, good, evil, flip-flop. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Ephesians 6:12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. So it's those evil spirits. Like I just played you a whole bunch of leftists. What do you think they have on them? It's evil spirits. It's evil spirits that's attached to them, that's making them do these things. It's not them, the person. It's the evil that's attached to them, that's confusing their minds, confusing their hearts, confusing their souls and spirits. That's what it is. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. It's not you, the person. It's not your flesh and blood. It's the spirits that overtake your body. and make you think these crazy thoughts, these crazy things, that a man could be a woman or a woman can be a man, that it's okay for men to compete against women, that it's okay to kill babies, that it's okay. And the last one, we have Proverbs 29:18, and it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So if you lack vision, if you can't see for yourself, if you don't have your own mind to visualize what's actually happening in the world, then you're lost. And Charlie Kirk's work was going on college campuses to say to people, hey, what's your vision? What's your thoughts? What are you thinking about? What do you think about these things? Let's have a conversation so I can see where you're at and you can see where I'm at, and let's find some common ground. You know, you say that a man could be a woman. Okay, tell me why. Is it because a man was born with a penis? If he's born with a penis, that makes him a man, right? Common sense. But if he's not born with a penis, then that makes him a woman, because we've only got two. We got a bat and a hole. We got a bat and a hole, right? We got a bat and a hole. Where there is no vision, the people perish. And that's what's happening on our college campuses, is the people are perishing. And Charlie was the light shining bright on college campuses and saying, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's have a debate. Let's talk about these ideas. Let's make sense of some of these things. And because they couldn't defend killing babies is wrong, they couldn't defend homosexuality is wrong, they couldn't defend transgenderism is wrong, they couldn't defend these things. So they say, you know what? We're just going to assassinate you and shut you up. But guess what? Charlie Kirk is now a martyr. And there's going to be millions of Charlies rising up out of this fire, out of the ashes of his body, of his blood. It's going to be more and more and more of us. There's going to be more and more and more of us speaking the truth, being truth tellers. Yeah. Charlie is going to live on forever. He's become 10x, 100x, 1,000,000x more powerful than he was the minute before he was shot. Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole lot of us, friend. It's a whole lot of us now. It's a whole lot of us. So, friends, as we get close to landing this plane, I want us to really take a moment and think about these things in your own life. When you're seeing things that's not right, are you standing up for the truth? You get that feeling in your gut, man, that ain't right. When you get that feeling, do you speak up? Do you stand up? You should, because that's your spirit talking to you. It's telling you, hey, your voice is needed for this conversation. Your voice is needed for whatever the wrong is that you are seeing. If that means creating your own YouTube channel, that means creating your own podcast to talk about the issues, then that's what you do. Or however it is that you feel like you need to address the situation. Right now, friends, the internet is our social battlefield. This is where the conversation is happening. This is where it's happening. And it's also happening on college campuses. That was Charlie Kirk's unique niche, if you will. So yeah, we need more college campers to people to stand up in those college campuses. When you see them in your classrooms, are you standing up and saying, no, that's not right? Or are you going to sit silent? Zip mouth, a cowardice. Don't be a cowardice. Be a hero. And it doesn't matter if they take your life for it. Because if they take your life for it, you are doing something good. We have the ultimate example of that. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He was murdered for no reason at all. Charlie Kirk was murdered for no reason at all. He spoke the truth. That was it. He was just a truth teller, and they killed him for it. So now let us do our quick poem. The price of truth. They pulled the trigger, not with lead, but lies. Cheering as a brother's courage dies. Not slain for crime, nor theft, nor greed, but for daring to plant a truthful seed. They dance on graves with laughing eyes, blind to their chains, deceived by disguise. Yet truth does not fall, it rises high, a holy flame with an unquenchable fire, an unquenchable thirst for truth. Thank you, Charlie Kirk. God bless you, and you may rest in peace. And friends, we've come to the end of our podcast today. Thank you very much for taking the time and joining and watching. I really do appreciate it. God bless you and keep you, and I will see you in another conversation.